Hello there and welcome back to another one of my exciting videos. So today we are just going to jump straight into things today because I feel like, you know, people want content and I want to get on with stuff. So today I'm just going to give you a little update about what I'm doing at the moment, and then I'm going to be talking to you about the Reflecta Film Scanner, which you can see just here, right here. So first and foremost, what am I doing at the moment? So at the moment I am currently trying to complete a little film project. I am using the Fomapan R film, and I have been shooting on this Kodak Brownie, which I will do a much better video of soon. Mechanically sound, if not a little bit temperamental, and I'm currently now shooting the other side of the film in this Kodak camera. So once I get the results back, you will be the first to know. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to. Never shot with 8mm film. Obviously I've shot Super 8, but never 8mm on the spool. So that's going to be really, really exciting. So without further ado, let's talk about this, the Reflecta Film Scanner, Super 8 and Normal 8. I think I said that right. Maybe I should say that. Maybe I should say that again. This is the Reflecta Film Scanner for Super 8 and Normal 8 film. I decided to pick one of these up after recently becoming quite interested in the idea of kind of archiving old disused film. Now granted, you're going to be picking up stuff that you have no idea what it is, and some of the stuff is going to be absolutely of no interest to anybody. You know, people like people playing in their back garden with their children or with their animals. But then sometimes you get some fantastic kind of documentary footage or some fantastic footage of areas that maybe, you know, you've never seen before. So that's kind of like my kind of interest in it. I'm a real keen archivist, and I kind of wanted to get into that. So the reason I wanted to talk to you about it is obviously it's right here. And for those of you that have been thinking about getting this type of film scanner, or for those of you that might be interested in digitising your own home movies, maybe your granddad or your great-granddad, depending on how old you are. Sometimes, you know, you're looking for a video online and you want a quite a comprehensive video where someone's used it. Now, just before we get into the close-ups, and I'll give you a little you know, show around the scanner, just be aware that this is kind of like an entry-level scanner. So, as an example, when you see the videos on my channel, which I've shot in Super 8, they've been processed by a professional lab with professional equipment. And some of those scanners can start from £8,000, £10,000. It's crazy, the kind of money. But that's where you get the fantastic quality. They can do a lot more. These types of scanners are really, as I said, they're for home purposes. They're basic film scanners. Now, I have done a little bit of scanning already, kind of just to see what the results are, and they're okay. This unit cost me £355, and I got it from Bristol Cameras. So if you're looking for one, this was the cheapest price that I could find, £355 online. Is it worth the money? Well, some places are selling it for £399, but I really can't stress enough that the results that you will get on this will not match what you're seeing on your projector, because when you're watching it on your projector, you're seeing the true image, beautifully crisp in some occasions. You won't get that from these scanners, but what you will get is a reasonable representation, a digitised version of it. So my hope is that the items that I pick up from boot fairs, from eBay, if I find some interesting items or some interesting documentary footage, my aim is to share it with you on my channel, and if there's anything like a gem or anything like that, then I may pay for it to get digitised professionally. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I will run through the basics of this in a minute just to show you guys, but just be aware that the results are reasonable. They're of a reasonable standard, but they are not phenomenal quality. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy one, because they're very, very helpful and very, very useful. So what I'm going to do now is I hope I haven't bored you to tears too much. I'm going to give you a little close-up of the unit and just try and give you a very basic demonstration on how this unit works. Okay, so we're just going to have a quick look at the Reflecta Film Scanner, a little bit more close-up. So what we're going to do straight away, I'm just going to tell you what you get in the box. So the package contents are the film scanner, because obviously that's needed, the power adapter, you get USB cable and a TV out cable, so obviously you can choose however you wish to view the movies. So there we go. You get the 5-inch reel, which is already on it here. Get this 5-inch reel here, and you get your little reel adapters and a little airbrush. So there are your adapters there, which will adapt 8mm to 13mm, and your little brush, and that can just clean your film. Okay, so that's what you get in the box. Now let's have a quick look at the back of this unit. So I'm just going to spin this around. So on the back of this unit, I'm just going to zoom in just to the back a little bit. Here we go. So you've got your USB on the back there, you've got your TV out, hence why the different options. You've got a 32GB SD card. I'll just show you that card. It's very particular, it likes a 32 gig. I'm using one of the extreme memory cards, SDHC 32GB, but you have to have that in the unit before powering up the units. And that's it, and obviously your power. So let's spin this unit back around. Oh, hello. So here we go, we're back out. So that's the basics of the scanner, and what I'm going to show you now is the very basics to how get things set up. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how you would go about sorting your film out. Now I've already got some settings set up on the camera already, but we're going to amend those because I know how I want to do this next reel of film. So first and foremost, we turn the scanner on, not the camera on, the scanner on. And I'm going to zoom into the screen just for a moment so you can see what it says. So at the moment it says exposure minus 1.0, and I did that the other day. I turned it down from an even setting of 0.0 to minus 1.0 because I was experimenting. And at the moment you can see that it's on 8mm film, and this is the frame counter. So I've run some film through this already a number of times, and it counts obviously how many frames it records. So that's what it is. So I'm going to zoom back out again here, okay, and what I'm going to do is if I was starting to film myself. Now before we start, I'm going to sort the settings out. So what I'm going to do is actually I should zoom back in probably. I'm going to press the menu button, very straightforward, and there's an up and a down key. And what we want to do is I want to go to the lighting. So there we go. So you see there you can have the sharpness and the exposure. So far I've found out of the sharpness settings, by the way, that the medium setting is the best, but we'll see as time goes on. So I'm going to go into exposure and I'm going to take it back up to 0.5. So I'm going to enter that, and that's okay. And I'll just show you here the sharpness. You've got high, medium and low. I did one the other day on high and it just made the film look so grainy. So far I think that medium is the best. So we're going to put that back onto medium sharpness, and the exposure is 0.5. So that's okay. So we can go back to the menu and you can see how it's corrected itself there. So the next stage is loading the film. So we've got a little spare film here. So I'm going to load this now. Now I'm going to have to edit this to make it look professional. But it's perforations away from you. So if you see here, you've got your film. The little perforations are on the opposite side of the camera, if you can see there. Usually when you load them into projector, I've got it's the opposite way around. So this likes you to load it like this. So what we do, there we go. So that is on. We can take the tape off. I just put the tape on there to look after it because it's new. So it's all quite straightforward. There are lines showing you exactly where to put the film in. Now I found that one way works better for me, but you don't have to do that. But this is how you load your film. So first and foremost, I've already selected 8mm, but if you wanted to change it to Super 8, you just press the lever across. So let's load this film up. I'm going to run a little bit of the runner through already. You'll see what I'm doing here. So under there, and we're going to run this through, run it through, and we're going to do what it tells us to do to feed it through. Now, it's a bit fiddly, but you get used to it. Now, it does say to indicate to go up and around, but I do it slightly different. I'm ignoring that last step. And all I'm doing is making sure that that's inside. Okay, so I'm just ignoring the last step. I'm loading it straight there. You shouldn't do that necessarily, but all it's doing, instead of going up here, it's going straight here. So what you then have to do, sorry if this is not the best demonstration in the world, but if I zoom in, I'll move the camera forward a little bit here so you can see. Okay, so I have already opened the flap door. It's a very simple way. You just click it to the left to open it, and inside here, if I move these tabs out of the way a minute, just here you should be able to see two little white indentations, one here and one over here. You should be able to see them. You have to make sure that the film is being fed under those. So I'm going to start rolling this forward because I know where I want this film to start from. And then when I'm ready, all I've got to do is lock it into place. So say we want the film to start probably about there. So I need to make sure that it's under both of these white indentations. There you go. That's both under there. Just get my little airbrush. Okay, and all we do is shut this down. So now we come back out. So anyway, I've loaded the film. So as you can see through here in the compartment, it's loaded up. This is normal 8 film, and you can tell the difference. Normal 8 film has bigger perforations. Super 8 film has smaller perforations. Super 8 had a wider picture, and therefore the perforations were smaller. Normal 8 had a smaller image, and therefore the perforations were bigger. Hope that makes sense. So we're ready to rock and roll. So the memory card is in the unit. We have queued the film up, and all you have to do is press enter. I'll just press the enter button, and it will say select film type 8mm, push lever to the left, or Super 8 push lever to the right. Well, it's already pressed to the left, so I can't press it to the left. So all I need to do is press enter. Now remember, I've changed my settings, so this one is going to be the one that I will be uploading to my YouTube channel so that you can see it. It's nowhere near as sharp as the projected image like we've spoken about, but it's a reasonable representation of what you're seeing on the film. And like I say, I'd like you to tell me what you think. So basically all we do is we press enter. Please wait. And the unit begins to scan. Now I'm just going to zoom in again to the screen just so you can see what I'm seeing. So this is just on the film leader, sound like Kodak exposed, and in a minute or two, in about 15 seconds you should start seeing what is on the film. And this frames at about 2 frames a second, but there's hardly any film on this reel. It's a very, very short film, but apparently if it's full it takes about half an hour. So that is the Reflecta scanner. Let me know your thoughts. Are you thinking about buying one? Or have you got one? Have you got any tips for me? Can you tell me if there's anything I could be doing better? I'm going to go any moment now once you've been able to see a few of the images on the screen. So any minute now, and the magic went, and here we go. So the image on the screen is pretty good. Sorry about that. Just trying to focus. I'll just zoom in slowly. So there we go. So you can see the image on the screen, and if you experiment with the settings, you'll find one that you like. But the only frustrating thing is that you could scan a whole reel of film and then realise that you've got to rescan the whole thing again, and that's why it's so handy to send it off to labs for colour correction and things like that. But for what it's worth, I'll let you be the judge, jury, and tell me what you think. So I hope you look forward to seeing some of these digitised films on my channel, and I'm signing off. Goodbye.